starting to think we are the alternate universe. You know how in like the comic books or the TV shows, the main characters will, like go through a fucking portal or some shit, and they end up in the alternate universe where everything is wacky and crazy, fucking Lex Luthor is actually the good guy, the whole thing, right? Shit's all crazy, backwards, fucking dogs have wings, the whole thing, right? I'm starting to think that we are the alternate universe. I'm starting to think that, if that is true, we are the alternate universe. We are the crazy universe that you would go to. I think that's us. I mean, how crazy is it? But I kind of think it's true at this point. I kind of think we are the alternate universe. We live in a world where it's not a conspiracy theory that the richest, most powerful people on Earth all got together on an intelligence agent's private island and did what they did. Okay, child sex trafficking rings. Okay, that is the world we live in, where that is not a conspiracy theory. That is an actual thing that we all just have to accept that absolutely happened. Whoever, if someone is rich and powerful, just think of them. They were on the island. Okay. That's the actual genuine world that we live in now. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, saying these things that we now just have to accept that are true, you would be in a mental hospital, right? You would have been sectioned. If you would have genuinely believed things that are now absolutely true, you would be in an asylum, right? There's no way people would just accept that, okay? And definitely the scariest part as well is that we've kind of just accepted it. I'm sure we're talking about it and we're like outraged and stuff, but like, what are we really doing? We're sort of just like, yeah, you naughties. And that's kind of it. We've slipped into the alternate universe where this is a real thing that has really happened, and we've all just kind of moved on. Like, yeah, it's still going on. Yeah, we're kind of mad, but also we're just kind of getting on with it. We've accepted that the people who control us, the people who decide what we do, decide the laws of our nations, we're all part of this. And it's just kind of like, whatever. Like, no big deal. Like, I guess we're just going to have to carry on. Because I guess, what are we going to do, right? It's almost like we're stun-locked into just non-action, It's like, maybe if this conspiracy would have been smaller, maybe if it would have, like, not been as big of a deal, it would have been better, because we would have been able to manage it better. Maybe if it was just, like, one billionaire, maybe it was just Bill Gates, maybe it was just him, and it wasn't, I can't start naming names, but if it was just one or two of these guys, maybe it would be easier, right? Because we could deal with that. We could deal with one or two. We could all direct our attention in those areas for just a little bit of time, and we could get rid of those people. Not like, get rid of them like properly, like politically and whatever. But because the conspiracy is so big, it's almost like we can't do anything about it because of how big it is. And the weirdest part of the whole thing is like, now what? Now what do we do? Okay, we know that whoever the richest, most powerful people on Earth were all on this guy's island, asking for parties, doing the shit they were doing on this guy's island, and they're still the richest, most powerful people on Earth. They still are. Nothing has changed. Like, what now? Now what? This must be like a Homelander moment for some of these billionaires, right? These billionaires, they probably thought this stuff could never come out. They could never be exposed. It was too well organised. And they probably thought to themselves, but if it ever does come out, I'm probably going to just throw in the towel. A little Suwoo, you know what I'm saying? And they were probably there tying their fucking nooses. And then they kind of realised that nothing was happening. The police weren't storming the building. There was no helicopters flying over their heads. There was nothing. It all came out and like kind of nothing. It was kind of like a Homelander moment, where he lasered that guy, and he thinks his life is over, and then he sort of looks around and everyone's cheering him. He just starts laughing. That's kind of what's happening right now. That's kind of what's happening with these billionaires. They're kind of like, oh shit, no one gives a fuck. Okay, let's keep it going. Like, what? And it's our fault because we're the ones who aren't doing anything. We're the ones who are just like, oh, you naughties, and that's it. That's kind of all we're doing. We're not protesting in the streets. We're not boycotting these guys' companies. We're doing nothing. We're doing literally nothing. We've just accepted it. And the worst part is, I don't exactly come to you with much of a solution here, okay? It's not like I'm like, well, here's all the bad things, and here's the solution. I don't even know what the solution is. I couldn't even begin to tell you where we begin with this thing, okay? Do we... Like, Microsoft. I am literally on a Microsoft computer right now. Bill Gates owns that company. I mean... Now, like, what? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do I... Like, now what? You know? Like, what do we do now? What can we possibly do? Because there really is nothing you can do. If the government decides just not to do anything about this, which they are, because they're involved too, and they're covering it up too, you know, I wish I had a solution. I wish I could be like, yeah, this is a terrible thing, but here's what we can do about it. I kind of don't think there is anything we can do about it, unfortunately. I actually can't think of a good thing we could do to make any difference with this. I mean, hopefully, if the victims would come out, maybe, honestly, I know this is a lot to ask of them, but especially considering we haven't done anything right now, and we have enough evidence to be doing stuff about it, like, maybe if they came out and was like, hey, these people did this when I was this age, maybe then we could do something. Maybe then. But then again, is that worth it for them, right? Because we're probably still not going to do anything about it. The government's not going to do anything about it. We're not going to do anything about it. So would they really want to put themselves through that for the reality of we're just not really going to do anything about it? Probably not. I mean, and you can't really blame them. I know I keep going back to this point, but like, am I the only one who's shocked that that we had such a little reaction to this? Like, I know it's been like mainstream news and people are really angry, but that just doesn't really feel like what I expected this would be. Like, if I was to tell you, like, a year ago that this level of conspiracy was going to be uncovered, would you really have expected this to... Because I don't think I would have. I think I would have been a lot more hopeful about how this would have played out. I really did think that we would be better than this, or that the system would have dealt with this better. Maybe that was just naive, and it probably was. But if you would have told me this a year ago, and I think a lot of you, if we would have been told this a year ago, our prediction of how this would have played out wouldn't have been this bad, right? Complete cover-up. Complete, the president just completely covering it up. No big deal, let's move on. No, la 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 la. Like, new things coming out every day, and the actual president of the United States just being like, la 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 la. Economy's great, let's move on. Like, he's literally doing that, okay? And he's in the files himself. The actual president of the United States is in the files a lot of times. Okay? And I don't have to say allegedly on that, because he is in the files, right? He is in them. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I have my own opinions, obviously. I can't prove he did anything wrong, but, like, come on. You don't get your name in those things that much if you're not involved in some way, right? Surely. That's my opinion, but that's the world we live in right now, where the president of the United States is just, he's covering, like, we're watching him just cover it up and just move on. Every time he's asked, he's like, oh, people don't really care about that. No big deal. I'm absolved of any wrongdoing. Let's move on. That's what he says every time. He says, yeah, it's not really a big issue right now. It's kind of the biggest issue. I mean, what is bigger than all the richest people, all the most powerful people on Earth, including you, getting on a pedo's island where children are being trafficked for 20 years, 30 years, What could possibly be bigger than that? What could be more important than that? I mean, it goes so deep. It's even the director of the FBI. He's saying, we have no proof that anybody else ever received any of these children that was being trafficked. Even though the children themselves are telling you that there is. Right? The victims are literally saying, yeah, hey, we can make our own list. We could show you who all these powerful, rich, aristocrat, friggin' billionaire, whatever are. We can show you. And the FBI is literally saying, hey, yeah, no. It was all Epstein. He trafficked thousands of girls over 30, 40 years, all for himself. He was just a greedy guy, I guess. We're supposed to all believe that this just lives and dies with Epstein and Ghislaine. No? How about no? How about no, it doesn't live and die with Epstein and Ghislaine? Maybe it's just general naiveness from me, but again, I just never quite saw this coming in the way that it has. And it's not like it's even a political thing, because both sides have their own issue here, because the Democrats Trump had 2 years the first time, the Republicans had 2 years the first time, and then Biden had 4 years to uncover this, and now Trump's had his time, and it's like, now what? Right? Now what do we do? Like, I didn't see it being this level of blatant, obvious cover-up, in your face, there you go. I just didn't see it. Maybe it is just pure naiveness. I never saw that coming. I never saw it being so obvious and so in your face that, yeah, like, we just don't give a fuck, bro. Like, we're gonna just, here you go, you exposed us. Now what? Now what are you gonna do about it? That's literally what they're saying to us. They're saying, hey, you exposed us. Well done. You got us. You got us. But what are you gonna do about it? You can't do a thing about it. That's literally what's happening right now, which is fucking insane. Anyway, I mean, I guess that's it, Nothing more to it. Just thought I'd talk about that. Fucking crazy shit, crazy world we live in.